Are you ready? Ready to take a ride? Grab your coffee and strap yourself in, because the show is about to begin.
This is RevMichelleHopkins.
You are listening to Omega Man Radio Network with Shannon Davis.
I want to welcome everybody to a live edition of Omega Man Radio. Praise the Lord Jesus Christ. I've got a special treat for you. For the next hour, we're going to give the mic to Reverend Michelle Hopkins. Michelle, and I want you, among other things tonight, to talk about these nanoparticles.
Okay.
So at this time, take the microphone away. We can go anywhere you want.
All right. Well, I recently, a few days ago, uploaded a video entitled Urgent Classified Documentation Reveals Horrifying Government Plot. This was by Dr. Weld, Bill H. Weld. In the video, he describes classified documents from the CIA, Naval Intelligence, and the DoD that he has seen personally and has promised his source that he would not bring to the public most of those documents for 2 weeks after this original video went up, to allow his source to finish his retirement and to leave the country, because as soon as these documents are published, his source believes that if he were to stay in the country, he would be killed, because at this point, they don't know who his source is, but once these documents are published, they could very well know who he is. But the information was too time sensitive, so he needed to get that video up, and I decided to go ahead and mirror it on mine and add some visuals on my site so that people could hear what's coming down the bend. The documents describe tiny microcellular sized killing machines called nanites, because they have an outer coating that is robust and can handle going through the digestive system until they get to the right place to either burrow into human flesh or attach themselves to human flesh to go where they need to go. They're different from the ones that we already know about in chemtrails. Chemtrail nanites we're familiar with. They burrow in the human flesh and they incessantly build polysilicon fibers for the sake of recreating man into cyborg-like creatures. And they are a human experiment, just as in the Holocaust. And they were done on the general public without our knowledge or consent. Morgellons, as you may well know of, which is a dreadful disease of terrible open sores and fibers coming out of the body that doctors refuse to give credence to, is the result of these nanites that are poured down on us in chemtrails. Now, the nanites that he's talking about are made for one simple purpose, and they are to burrow into the bloodstream, gain entrance to the brain and other areas of the body in order to attach themselves to that tissue and lay in wait for classified military frequency signal to give them their working orders. At which time, they manipulate the brain and other areas of the body to send signals to those other areas of the body to affect what is called a cytokine storm. It's a sort of immune system feedback loop that is like your immune system on steroids. They cause the body's immune system to turn against itself and mimic virulent flu-like symptoms that develop into upper respiratory infection, fluid in the lungs, pneumonia, and eventually death. The target survival rate for the powers that be is 2%. Now, they're saying that they want 99% of the populace infected with these things, and most of us are already. This program began in 1995. Now, I'm not saying they were sprayed or put into the water or the other places where they're implemented in 1995, but that's when the program began. He put up some documentation. Now, the two documents, I'll read them out to you. The cover page document says DTFN estimates for nano-domestic quell Phase 4 updated compliance. And this is for the Assistant Director of Advanced Projects, the Office of DARPA Command for the Department of Secretary of Defense eyes only. Then it describes nanodomestic quell in the other document, and it says that there needs to be more inflows of dispersal in Pepsi Company, 9.9% more, Nestle, 8.5% more. It goes on with the different percentages. Chicago Municipal, that's referring to the water supply. Atlantic Municipal, another water supply. Coca-Cola, Los Angeles Municipal, and Seattle Municipal. These are just a few of the very many areas that these things have infiltrated. To give you a little bit more of a heads up as to where these things are. Now, I have contacted my NASA contacts on this, and I have verification and confirmation from numerous sources. My NASA contacts have confirmed that this is true. And when I asked him for any kind of documentation that they could give me, they are not directly involved. He gave me the document. He said, this document has it all. It tells you pretty much everything. And so he was saying, yes, it's true, it's real, it's in the water, it's in all these other products. Not only that, it's in vaccines. So these vaccines and so forth are laced with it. That's another interesting thing that we'll talk about.
Well, literally, we have the science, am I correct, to make these little nano machines that can do various tasks. Is that correct?
Yes, and they're made to order. We can make them to order. You just go to the manufacturers and you say, look, I want a nanite that's this big. I want it to do this, this, and this. I want it to not be susceptible to this. It has to go through this kind of environment. And you just go down the list of what you need, and they will make it for you.
So they take these and they put them into the water supply,
right.
into
Now,
drinks. Go ahead.
Let me describe these nanites just a little bit. The particular nanites that we're talking about are medical nanoscale devices, meaning they're so tiny you can barely see them, or you might not even be able to see them with the naked eye. They're customized with targeted drug delivery and cell death vehicles carrying large doses of agents, genetic material, or programming targeted to specific cells. Now, these particular nanites that we're talking about, let me get down here. These are the revolutionary kind of nanites that are constructed with a robust, smart nanostructure. And they detect specific cells and identify their location in the body. They can kill the cells or stay right where they are and confirm back having done the job. So they get this frequency and they get their working orders. They do their working orders and then they report back what they've done when they're finished. Amazing.
This is insidious. I mean, if we didn't have enough already to worry about chlorine, fluoride, pharmaceuticals in the water supply. I just came out to Nevada, Michelle, and a friend of mine who will remain unnamed warned me. He said, you may want to be careful about drinking the water in Vegas. It could very well be hot, meaning radioactive. Yeah. The report was, he got from his source, that some of the Indian tribes live in land that is next to the Colorado River. Their cattle was coming down with tumors, I think blindness and various things. They called in a team of specialists which examined them and then traced their problem to some kind of radioactive poisoning in the water supply. Now, that is the information that he got, and this was a man that worked out at the atomic test site in the 60s. So if he says that he has knowledge about radiation, I'll have to defer to him. He worked there when they were developing the bombs and doing testing. So it got me concerned, and for many weeks, I've been drinking bottled water, but now I want to get to the bottom of this. has the water supply been contaminated with radiation? That's another show. But if that wasn't bad enough, now we got nanomites.
Right, and it's not just water from municipalities. It's in bottled water as well.
Uh-oh.
So, you remember this public drive that the president's wife went on, how that Americans needed to drink more water. You need to drink at least 9 glasses of water a day and you'll feel better. And the doctors came out and said, that's the most ludicrous thing I've ever heard. Why would she say this and make it a public drive to do it? Because what she's saying is not scientifically correct. Why is the president's wife telling Americans we need to chug water?
Interesting. We are live right now with Michelle Hopkins. Michelle, can these nanites be remotely activated, or are they pre-programmed to do their mission at a certain time on their own?
They are pre-programmed, but they are activated when they're given their working orders. Basically, when the top secret classified military frequency is sent out, is emitted, they get that frequency order. Okay, now it's time to do your task. Once they're done with their task, they report back. Or if it's a continuing task, they report as they go. Now, a new report reveals that at least 104 food packaging, and agricultural products contain nano ingredients. They're now on sale internationally. These include diet replacement milkshakes, cooking oil, tea and fortified fruit juice, food additives sold for use in processed meats, soft drinks, bakery and dairy products, long life and antibacterial food packaging. It's in the packaging, and antibacterial kitchenware.
Amazing.
Now, there's been evidence already that these nano ingredients have toxic risks for humans and the environment. Okay, people are opening their eyes, environmentalists and other doctors and so forth that are not in on the plan are saying, hey, wait a minute, some things are happening. People are getting tumors. People are having other issues with this. The environment is being cluttered with this. This is pollution. You're polluting the environment with this stuff. So there's an impact of these nanoparticles on living cells that's urgently needing evaluation because there are potential hazards relating to human exposures to nanoparticles.
This is Rev Michelle Hopkins. Thank you for watching, and God bless you.